Okay then, so this is Richard from Totalmonkery.
Yeah, that's it.
Right, and we were looking here at the new game, which they're hoping to bring out possibly in October.
Yeah, hopefully end of October. Starting out on the PC, Mac.
Okay, so this is called Magnets, yes?
That's it.
Okay, right. So would you like to tell us, as you were saying before, some of your development process and how far you've got so far, and some of the ideas that you've been working on?
Well, the game's basically made in Unity, but I come from a background of working in games for 20 years, so instead of coming from a sort of an indie way, I come from a mainstream games production. So we sort of made Magnets more as a way that a bigger company would make it, which I think is why it's sort of, it's quite shiny, because I like making games that, people, initially people see a nice looking game and that's what will sell. So I really want to make something where you look at it and go, I like the look of it, so I want to buy it.
So you've worked for several mainstream companies beforehand?
My first job was at Psygnosis back in the 90s. They made a lot of Amiga games and things like that. And I ended up working at LucasArts for a couple of years. Worked in Star Wars games, things like that. So I've worked in, higher end of games. So I've tried to bring some of the ideas that we use there more into sort of the indie realm.
Oh, excellent. Now, can you show us a little bit of how the game actually plays?
Yep. Oh, do you want me to play it? Okay. So the idea is, this is the main player character, Ranger, and he's called Faraday. So Faraday's job is basically, he looks after animals. He's sort of like a zookeeper in the future. And for some reason, all these bots here, they're just like, imagine like, Roombas nowadays, they're just bots that roam around the city.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they've all gone mad and they're starting to attack objects and other robots like the player. So he has this, which is called the magnet. And the magnet, the magnetic net, when they're inside it, if you release, they get electric shocked. You do it again, and they basically get destroyed and turned into scrap, which are these yellow chips. So what you do is you pick up those yellow chips and then you recycle them. So this green guy here is the Recyclotron. If we give him the scrap, he eats it up, then he makes objects for you. So that object there is a fuse. So when we go and pick it up, basically there are places in the level which need objects so that you can fix them. And what we try to do is do it so we don't tell you straight away, so you can run around and go, well, I don't know where I've got to put it. And then all of a sudden an arrow will appear. So we tried to make it so... So
you are guided, but not too...
but we didn't want to make it so that, you felt like your hand was being held all the time. It's up to you how much help you want. So the basic idea is that, as you're going through the game... Oh, I died. So as you go through the game, basically the bots get harder. So at the beginning, at the moment,
they're almost falling in that magnet.
But are you noticing that these three are getting stuck, but that other guy won't come into the magnet?
Yeah.
So what we've done is basically we've tried to give them the robots a little bit of personality. So we call this bravado. So some bots, they just go, I'm going to go into the magnet, I don't care. Some bots go, oh, I'm a little bit worried. But then they can change their minds. So as you play the game, it's not always going to be the same, depending upon how you play it.
So they have some kind of
we like to
bravery or...
Yeah, we like to actually call it artificial stupidity. Because basically what we did was we started making them off and they were quite clever, but the game then was really boring because you knew exactly what you were going to do. So what happens now is you don't know whether the bots are going to be stupid or whether they're going to be quite clever. So I mean, at the moment you can see, we're in a very, very bright, colourful park level.
Yeah.
So if I show you one of the other levels. So the idea is there's a whole story behind it. So this is like the second zone. The second zone is a museum. And then the idea with each zone is it tells a story of why all of a sudden these robots are going rogue. So you get lightning coming through the windows. So the music's sort of quite creepy in this section. And then the idea is here is they're sort of trying to steal something from the museum. We won't say what it is because that will spoil the story. But Phil, our great concept artist, came up with a lot of this art. So we've taken like classical pieces of art and then we've sort of turned them into like robot pieces of art.
So it's a play on it, basically.
Yeah, so we've got lots of little things in the games. that's the GIF shop, as in the GIF, the paint, you know, the graphics format. So we've got little in-jokes throughout the game. So we then also have a industrial level. So for instance, let's have a look at loading bay. Then you also have this guy here, Mayor. Mayor's like he's a guy that just helps you throughout the game. He's the mayor of the city. So he'll come up and he'll just basically tell you, you know, there is problems. He might help you throughout the game. You don't have to listen to him. We try to make it so you can just pick it up and play. It's up to you. But you know, for players that aren't quite as good, you know, we want it still to be a really good experience.
So you use them as a guide, effectively.
Yeah, essentially. So in this one, for instance, you've got these copters, and the bots are basically trying to destroy the copters. And as you see, what we try and do is, if the bots are attacking something off screen,
you're guiding towards
we'll guide you. You don't have to have it. You can switch it off if you want, but it just does make life easier. As well as that, we have 3 skill levels. Later on we're going to add more, and then we've got all the standard sort of VSync settings. We've got leaderboards and things like that. Then there's multiplayer, so we also have multiplayer sections. Oh, is it working? There we go. So in these, basically, it's player on player. So here you can see lots of bots coming down. So not only are the bots going to attack you, but also you can attack the other player. So if I can get the other player on my magnet and drop it, they lose health. And you can also see some of the power-up systems. So what we play with here is the idea that maybe not all bots will hurt you. So all of these grey bots, literally they're going to do nothing. But what happens is over time they wake up. And depending upon how you play the game, they'll wake up in different ways.
Yep.
So here what you do is when you pick up the scrap, it's just points. But what we're going to be doing later on is we're going to be getting it so that you can trade it in for objects, which will then, you know, you can use on the other player. So you could basically buy a tagger, and the tagger you could put on the opposite player, and then all the bots would start attacking the other player. So we're going to have machinery in the levels which you can power up, which will do damage to the other players. So we're just trying to make it so that, you know, you get as much interest out of the game as possible. You know, the game, we've got the game fully working now. So what we're trying to do is just add more and more features in as we go along. We just want it to be as good as it can be because, you know.
So that's the core functionality sorted there.
Yep.
And you're actually on Steam Greenlight, is that correct?
We are on Greenlight. We still need your votes. We're not there yet. We've not been on there too long. We've been on there a couple of months. It's going pretty well. But we just need to basically get through Greenlight.
Right, so that's your next stage, yes?
Yeah, we need to get through Greenlight, get the game onto Steam in October, and then the plan is after that we'll start releasing on console. So we've already got developer status for a couple of consoles. The game will hopefully get accepted and we'll get it onto as many platforms as we can.
That's excellent. Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Best of luck. Good luck. Thank you.